This is the story of Flint, Michigan, a city defined by struggle and survival. One man's voice rises above the chaos.
To the city attorney, is there a reason why it's in a residential neighborhood and doesn't include all?
Could make that, expand that if it so chose. I'm just trying to work through some of the angles in my head here real quick.
Can you include?
The advantage of doing it, limiting it to residential neighborhoods, does simplify some things, but there's no reason that it couldn't be expanded to other areas of the city. As the chief mentioned, driving 70 miles an hour in a residential neighborhood is kind of by definition reckless driving, because you're driving at 70 miles an hour in a 25 mile per hour
Point of information.
Mr. Mays, I believe that you excused yourself from this meeting.
This is ridiculous. Come on, guys. Let's get this meeting moving forward. Now he's back in the meeting. He asked for a point of information. Let's honor it. Let's just stop and move on. Thank you.
Yeah, Madam Chair.
Mr. Mays.
In my mind, I believe you want me gone from my elected seat, and you can't control that.
We are wasting so much time. Passive aggressive behavior, which is what we are dealing with, and I'm tired of it.
This council person is dancing all around this council.
As he uttered obscenities from his seat, he stood up and said that he's removing himself from the meeting to sit in the audience. Exactly quoted from Councilperson Burns. See, if you approve this behavior, if you agree with this, then you are not involved in moving the city forward.
That's my position. So the cameras can get ready, y'all can get ready.
Mr.
I will
Mays.
fight for my elected seat. When folks is excused and they come back and forth, this first ward councilman
Mr. Mays, you do not have the floor.
So Chief,
Mr.
you might well
Mays.
get ready.
Mr. Mays, you do not have the floor.
But I got my seat.
You will be excused from this meeting. You excused yourself from the meeting. You may go sit in the audience. Mr. Mays, you may go sit in the audience. This is your warning. Mr. Mays, are you refusing to leave your seat to go sit in the audience? Seeing no movement from the councilman in the first ward, Officer Metcalf, can you please remove Mr. Mays?
You don't put them on. Putting these snacks and dragging, but I ain't getting up there to the council till you get arrested. That's what you do. I would say that. And I'm not going to be treated differently than white folks. It'll be a peaceful arrest.
Thank you to my council members. I do apologize for that delay. We were in the first round of discussion on the new substitute motion.
The Detroit riots, 1967. A city simmering on the edge. Then one night, a spark. In the Virginia Park neighborhood of Detroit, Michigan, a riot erupts. It begins on a long, hot summer night
As Governor of the State of Michigan, I do hereby officially request the immediate deployment of federal troops into Michigan to assist state and local authorities in reestablishing law and order in the city of Detroit.
It lasts for days, and when the smoke clears, it will be remembered as one of the most destructive riots in American history. What set it off? What really happened in those streets? And what came after, when the fires finally died?
Law and order have broken down in Detroit, Michigan. Pillage, looting, murder, and arson have nothing to do with civil rights.
It was just completely out of hand when we got there, and no matter what the police wanted to do, there's nothing they could do about it. It was in the hands of the people, the mob.
Well, after I was shot, I just fell to, right to the pavement because I didn't know how many shots were coming off after that.
Were you bewildered or angry or what?
I don't think it's right for my people to act the way that they're acting. This is all I can say about the thing because we're fighting one war now in Vietnam and we were losing.
A nearby city called Flint, like Detroit was a city on edge. Racial tensions, economic struggles, a community weighed down by inequality. The same forces that ignited Detroit police brutality and injustice were smoldering here too. Then came the spark. News of Detroit's unrest spread like wildfire. Frustration boiled over. In Flint's black neighborhoods, protests erupted. Anger turned to action, and the streets filled with voices demanding change. But the response was swift. A show of force meant to restore order, but instead, it poured gasoline on the fire. The National Guard was deployed to Detroit, but their presence reached Flint where a community was pushed to the edge. And when the dust settled, nothing would ever be the same. For one boy, it was only the beginning.
I was born with a heartbeat to be born.
Eric Mays was just a child when the city burned. The son of a pastor, one of 9 children, raised in a home filled with faith, discipline, and resilience. But outside those walls, the world was different. Flint was changing. The factories that once promised prosperity were closing their doors. The promise of equality felt more like a distant dream. The struggles of his communities weren't just moments in history. They were lessons. Lessons in power, in injustice, in the fight for a voice. And from those lessons, a fire grew inside him. One that would lead him to Michigan State University, then to the halls of power in a city still searching for justice. But before he could change the system, he had to survive it. Bold. Eric Mays versus the City of Flint. A Tim Williams documentary series.